Yeah, so I grew up in church. I remember probably from, when I was a baby, my parents would take my brother and I. They grew up in the church, and so it's been very, very fluent in our family. Continuing through church through high school, I would say it's pretty safe to say it kind of went to the wayside. Not that I had bad friend groups or did terrible things, but it wasn't as prominent as it could have been. After that, went to college, and that's when faith really took a back burner. Going to college it was fun, enjoyed it, but being a man of God and faith was not on the priority list. I found out that I was going to be a father, and so that really kind of changed the mind frame a little bit. It was more of okay, it's time to wake up. It's time to be a man of God that you were raised to be. And shortly after my son was born, I made some changes. Still didn't attend church regularly. Still wasn't a top part of my life. Still was never all in with it. And then in 2014, had to make a really difficult decision, probably the most I had at my point in life. And I took a job in Columbus, Ohio. And when I got to Columbus, I started to go to church again. I got married. I found myself in a city group. I found myself kind of being that quote unquote man of God, right? But, as I look back at it, I was still never fully invested in it. I was checking the boxes. I was doing the things you should do, go to church on Sundays, group during the week, but never fully all in. Not going all in was just certain areas of my life I had to control, whether it be finances, whether it be relationships, or work. There's always something that I felt I needed control over rather than giving everything to God. In 2021, I then made another very important life decision and took a job here in Michigan to move back closer to my son. So when I moved here, I actually Googled churches near me, knew I wanted to find a church, and Miles City was one of the options that came up. Fast forward a couple of years, I joined a group here. I started serving and, again, doing all the right things, checking all the right boxes. But ultimately, looking deep down, it was not all in. Reached a point in my life that was difficult. I had just gone through a divorce. My teenage son was going through some issues as well. And we're just kind of in a dark place. I had a son out of marriage. I'm now divorced, and so it just felt some shame that was hard to deal with and hard to admit at times. But really, was that point of life where it was just like, okay, I kept telling people I'm good, but I'm just not good. One morning, sitting in church, and in my usual area, if you will, it was actually a baptism Sunday, and Travis was giving the message. We were studying the book of Romans. It was the end of the sermon when he grabbed that 2x4 and he was saying, from afar, we all look perfect. And it really resonated with me because that was me. I was going to church on Sundays. I was in a group and I was doing all these things. But when you get up close to it, just like God's up and close with you, you can see the imperfections. You can see the cracks. But that's okay because God's here for us. He's got endless grace for us. And I remember tearing up a little bit at that service, like, whoa, there's going to be a moment in time for everybody where you get shown the light or you get hit by a 2x4 and God's going to tell you to just jump all in. And for me, that was that moment. This is what I need to do. I need to jump all in. I need to give everything to God. I can't control these certain areas of my life. And ever since I've done that, it's been just endless grace, endless peace that they say peace passes all understanding. And it's true. It's truly unbelievable. My name is Tim Heffelfinger, and I'm getting baptized to show everyone that it doesn't matter how old you are, what your past is like. It's never too late to be saved by the grace of God.